Go.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I am Ashley Burchin, and I just realized that hopefully by the next time I have a Zoom, I'll have a new last name. Anyways, I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I'm here tonight with my best friend Rachel, and we're going to share some incredible tips that we have for what's worked for us with social media, and how we have incorporated our businesses into that. Some do's, some don'ts, are just really simple, basic stuff that's going to be great for all of you guys. So I'm going to turn over to Rachel.
Okay.
She can introduce herself.
So yeah, like she said, I'm Rachel. And this is a continuation of a Zoom that we did. I think it was last July, actually. We call it like the best way to market on social media, and this is very much a continuation of that, of what we've learned over the past year, as well as we pulled some points that we are reiterating because they're that important. So if you want the link to that, that's in the original post I put in the team page. To go back and watch it, you can do part 1 and part 2. But tonight's is probably going to be a little bit shorter than the last one that we did. That's the goal anyway. But we put together a nice little slideshow for you. We only have like 3.5 points. It's going to be great. So we're going to start out with how often should you be posting, and how often should you be posting about your business? I feel like that's a question a lot of new investors have. It's a question that people still have, apparently. Even being in the business for a while, sometimes that's what we think. So without further ado, the ratio that we have come up with that has worked best for us is the 3-to-1 ratio. So you give, ask. And this is a ratio, I forget where I heard it from. It was either like a TED Talk or a podcast or something about marketing, specifically on social media. And they said you have to give your audience 3 forms of information. Give them something that is of value to them before you ask them to buy your stuff. And so I have played into this with my own personal Facebook page and Instagram as well. So when we talk about giving your audience value, you're like, what the heck does that even mean? I'm supposed to pay them? Like, no. So when we talk about giving your audience value, that's going to look different for everybody. So on my notes here, we have it that's like very unique. And in order to figure out what you're going to provide for your audience that is going to make them want to look at your page, it's going to want to make them be friends with you, it's going to grow your influence, they're going to want to know what you want to say, and they're going to want to buy anything that you recommend, whether it is Plexus or whether it's some other product that you love. So Ashley has a really great one where she does her lunch boxes for her son, like healthy lunch boxes. We're going to talk more about that here in a little bit. But for some people, it's memes. I know someone, she's like really high up and unique, and she just posts memes like all the time. And that's like part of her value that she gives to her audience. She makes them laugh. I know that I definitely keep her around that's one of the reasons. Plus, I just really like her and think she's super cool. But she posts memes. For some people, they post food and helpful recipes. For some people, it's just being really funny, and it's being super authentic and real, which is something that people crave. And so this can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And so in order to find out what that is for you, we recommend that you go through the branding workshop. And I know, talk about it all the time. You're probably tired of hearing branding. But the reason we talk about it all the time is because it's so incredibly important. It's about finding who you are and being confident in that, and then going out, narrowing that down, and presenting that to your audience. And they're going to know to come to you for certain things. They're going to grow to expect certain things, and they'll respect you for it. You'll have influence over them for it. Ash, you want to touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah. So when we are talking about adding value, some of the things that I add value with is intactivism. So it's like educating people on routine infant circumcision and the benefits on not doing that, and what that looks like for different people. And it's not something I'm going to share all the time, but that's why we're saying that your brand is so important, because you have several different things that you're adding value to people's lives. simply by educating them on something or to bring awareness to something. Another thing, like she said, is my lunchbox posts with Gunner. I started doing that when he started school last year, and it was just because I wanted to share what like a healthy lunch could look like, and people caught on and they really liked it. So I've continued to do that because people come to my page looking for that. Guess what? When they're on my page looking for those lunchbox posts, they're also seeing my Plexus posts. And so it's really important to have a reason why someone's going to come to you specifically. I have messages from all different walks of life that I've been in because I've branded myself in different areas of life, of things that I can add value to them. And so they're going to come directly to me. And so again, when they have a need for health, a supplement, they're going to think of me because I've already built that trust there by giving them something of value. Another thing that I do that I add value to people's lives is through sharing about my shitty situations in a positive light. People can relate to that. They can understand that though my life may not be picture perfect and awesome, that I'm willing to share in an authentic way with them. So that's another way. It doesn't always have to be that you're sharing an education or a specific point, but it's an outlook that you have. Go ahead, Rach. So adding value is, absolutely bottom line. You have to have that. If people know that you have something to share with them, it gains so much respect, and it gives you a platform in order to share your business and this opportunity with other people, and they're going to trust you. So the next thing that's really, really important with social media is the visuals that we share with people. So the pictures. Quality absolutely matters. We had a phenomenal Zoom call, I think it was last week, that Lindsay Pettit did for us, and she did some great tips, and I want to encourage all of you to go and watch it. It was incredible. She goes over great tips on how to edit the photos, how to take a good photo. Perfect. But I'm going to go and overview that just slightly for you. So just the importance of what those steps look like. Number one, take a really good photo. My trash can, if you go and look at the trash can in my phone, there is like 9 photos that look very similar because I only kept one out of the 10 photos that I took. I do not snap one picture. I snap rapid fire, and then I can find the one that's the best angle, the best lighting that I'm going to be able to edit. Sometimes I'll even edit 2 pictures to see which one has the better undertone. I get kind of crazy, yes, but it's important to me because that is the face of my business. Every single photo, not just ones about Plexus, but my pictures of my child, of my life, of anything. I'm going to have them all look cohesive together. So how you take the photo matters. How you edit it is just as important. So Rachel and I put together, I collected a whole bunch of pictures, the original pictures and the edited versions, and she put them into a slideshow for us. So Rach, if you want to show our pictures.
Yes. I put together a slideshow just for you guys. This should work.
I'm going to mention while she's sharing these, I used WordSwag for the text on this. This one's a really basic one, but if you do not have the app WordSwag, you need to pay the few bucks and get it, and choose one font and use that for your business. Use that for your post. Do not put words over every single post. If you've got an adorable picture of your child, this is not a meme. It's your child. Keep the text off of it. But if you have a need, or if you want to write out a quote and you want it to capture people's attention, use the colors that you're going to choose for your branding, then use WordSwag and whatever font that you think is going to look best with your brand, and add that onto there. So here, this picture, you can see on the left side is the unedited picture. On the right side is the touched up one. Now, which one just catches your eye a little bit more? We're going to flip through a couple of these. This is my lunchbox for Gunner. So Rach, if you want to go to the next one, see, same thing. Where I cropped it so that it doesn't always look the same. I added my text onto that because I branded that as our Instagram name. Just brightened that all up. This one, my style in editing is I either have black and white, whether I'm doing a white background with black text, or if I'm doing black and white photos, or Rach, if you want to go to the next one. Or I do a more blue undertone. See how dark and awful that picture was? I did not get to take multiples because obviously I was up in a aerial silk. But I took that photo that was not phenomenal and made it bright, and it caught people's attention. That got a ton of likes. where if I posted that original, it wouldn't have. So I keep those two editing styles. So the food ones are always going to be bright and cheerful. And then I either do a black and white or I do that blue undertone bright photo. So
and you have two different brands too. Like your Lunchbox for Dinner is a completely different Instagram than your regular life. So that's okay to have two separate, like, and we're going to talk about cohesiveness in your editing. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up.
In a few. If you want to go on, I don't know what you have up next. That one. See how crappy that first picture was? It was just kind of like more dull. And I was able to brighten that up and give it to, honestly, the more authentic color of what that beach trip looked like that day. And it catches people's eyes where that original is a sweet picture, but it was dull. So that I actually did still use a blue undertone with that original. I know it's harder to tell on this one, but when you see them all together, it made it cohesive. Like Rachel said, we'll be talking about that more later. So if you want to go on to your photos, I think next.
Yeah. So I just also wanted to bring up, you know, she talked about Lindsay did an amazing Zoom at the end of June on, she talks about how to actually do this, you guys. So we're just kind of giving you a good overview, but if you need more information on how to specifically do this, go check out her Zoom. And then later next week, I believe, Victoria First is doing a Zoom on like graphics and how to make them and how to use WordSwag and like really detailed and broken down for people that have issues with that. So, or if you just want to learn how to be better at it too, I'm definitely going to be on that call. So yeah, I just want to bring that up real quick. So I use the app VSCO. I'm obsessed with it. It's free, and I have a specific like filter and editing style that I use for every single one of my photos.
You have a formula.
What, Ash?
You have a formula.
I do. I have a formula, and it is I use the HB1, and I'm trying to like remember off of memory. I know I do the exposure to +1 and like the temperature to -2 and the saturation of +3. Like it's a legit formula. But anyway, so I do that for every single photo so that they are cohesive, which again, I said we're going to like show you what that looks like a little bit later. But this first photo you can see is just, I mean, it's okay, but it's just kind of and then the edited one's better. Now this one I absolutely love because it's just a picture I snapped, and I followed Lindsay's recommendation of putting, like used to I would put Charlie and Greg in the center of the photo, but I'm not a photographer. Ashley and I aren't at all. This is like stuff we take with our iPhones, and we edit on our iPhones. Like this is like how to do photography for dummies, basically, because that's what we are. And so Lindsay gave me a lot of great tips. But I love this photo on the right. I followed my usual editing practices, and it came out gorgeous and actually looked more of what it looked like in real life with a little bit of my pink undertone that I do. And same with this. So the photo on the right, Ashley had to crop it for the purposes of this photo. But it was actually, Charlie wasn't in the center of the photo again. And you know, if you look on the left at the unedited, it's a cute photo. But editing it just gives it that much more je ne sais quoi. And you notice they are all very cohesive. So this is extra important for Instagram, but it's also important for Facebook. It's important that you have people know what to expect. It's part of your brand. They can see a picture without even looking at your name, be like, oh, that's from Rachel. Without saying like my kid, you know, but just any picture they can glance at and be like, oh, that's from Rachel, because they know the editing style, even if that's like subconscious down in their brains, they know. So here we're going to talk a little bit more about cohesiveness. Ashley, I put yours and Lindsay's on here, and I figured you could talk about it for a second. Uh-oh, where's Ashley? Hold on.
Oh, I had myself muted.
Okay, I was like, I had it all out. I had to stop for a second. Okay, we'll go back in.
Okay, so like I was saying before, I have a style of editing, which is black and white. And then you can also see that there's blue undertones there. Now with the beach, you have to be creative. You have different elements, different locations. You're gonna have to adjust your edits a little bit. And it may not all have like such a blue look, because it would look like, wait, this sand is blue. Like what? So you have to be creative with that. But as you can tell, I also have my brand is going along with that. I have yoga, I have beach time, I have being a mama, and I have some quotes and or images if I chose to do words. They're all white and black. And so that all together, it goes, well, that's just my real life right there, but it's in how I'm choosing to edit it and those undertones and filters that I'll choose to use. Tip. I know like there's so much more that we could get into with this, but I never just use one filter and call it good. There is so much more that you can do simply with Instagram editing, but also like Rachel said, with the app that she wants, and I'm going to go and get it tonight. And then now let's look over at Lindsay's Instagram. And Lindsay's, like, look at that. You have the same color green throughout all of it. You can tell what she is passionate about. She's got her business spotlighted there. I see a pink drink. I see a lot of outdoor time. I see her beautiful boys, their food. It's incredible. Like all of it goes so smoothly and wonderfully together that when you look at her posts, you're going to know that they're hers simply because of the what is included in those posts, as well as the coloring and her editing.
Yeah. So this is what we call like cohesiveness. This is, you want all of your photos, and this goes beyond photos. Like everything that you say, you want it to go to a certain like theme, I guess. It's not to restrict you, but that's why we have those 5 themes in the branding plan, to make sure that all of your posts go towards those 5 themes. I kind of relate it to when you have goals and you have like a vision for your business. Like we read it in 21 Laws of Leadership, and I forget what chapter it is, but there's this coach that had like goals at the beginning of the year, and every time before practice, he made sure that what they were doing, that practice went towards their major goals. So it's the same concept. Everything you share, everything you say, everything you post needs to go towards that goal. Okay. So here we have Catherine's on the left. I'm gonna move. I don't know if you guys can see that, but for my purposes, she is an amazing photographer. So I'm not even gonna try to compare mine to hers, but she is really great at editing and branding and being cohesive as well. You can look at her Instagram and you might not be able to put your finger on it, but there's something cohesive about it. That's her editing. It's how she does it. And it also with her photos. She has a brand and she brands really well. Okay. And then here's mine. Ooh, that's cool. I didn't know I did. Anyway, mine over here on the right. My brand has changed dramatically recently. And so I am still working on doing all that, but you can see at the photos, I edit them the same every single time. And sorry, I got distracted. But I have my business there a little bit. I have my life. I have food. That's what my daughter, my family, that's what my life is about. But I also, in the words that I say and in the things, in the way that I edit, it's all cohesive. I was going to say something else there. Oh yeah. Lindsay goes, she did an Instagram like branding workshop too that we have available on the training page, where I learned almost everything from her, where she goes over all of that in way more detail again. So definitely check that out. Oops, wrong button. These are brands that we just absolutely love, and we wanted to show you like people that like companies. Companies hire people to be their like social media like posting and branding people. And so companies have their own brands, but they take it even a step further, especially for Instagram. So you can see like the Thinx paintings over here on the left, which Ashley and I are obsessed with. I've never actually looked at their Instagram, and I'm dying at this one photo with the blow dryer. But you can easily see that they have a theme going on. And same over here with FabFitFun, which I've yet to like do, but I really want to. You can see they have the same editing style, the same types of photos. And again, this isn't to put you in a box, but it's to really expand your horizons and make you find new ways to do stuff so that it fits into what you're trying to achieve.
Hey, Rachel.
Yeah.
I knew that it was She Thinks on Instagram. As soon as they pulled up, I was like, oh, wow. And what I noticed is I hadn't seen their stuff in my news and my feed as often. But back when I first fell in love with them a few years ago, they had a much different look. It was more of a light pink and sketched look. And that's still what they send out in their emails and what's on their Facebook. So they have two different platforms and two different marketings, honestly, two different brands. But this is still the exact same style. And so I see that they're shifting into this green. So if your brand is changing or if your life is changing and you need to mix it up, you can, but you have to keep enough things in there that it doesn't matter if your color changed as long as the rest of your images, your wording, what you're sharing is still cohesive. So I thought that was really cool. And that's another reason I chose that one because I wanted to use that as an example.
And I thought that was done. But here we're just going to show you a couple of our like product photos that we do. So I love flat lays. Again, Lindsay talks way more about that too. She talks about, you know, how you need to have an uneven number and like goes into all these details. But if you look at the picture on the left, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you look at the edited version, you're like, whoa, okay. Like, and also it's definitely branded for me. You can like, I mean, y'all probably can't tell, but I'm like, yeah, that's my editing. You guys probably don't pay that much attention to it. But yeah, you can totally see that there. And then
I want to add that I've actually asked Rachel for her unedited version before. I'm like, hey, I want to use your image, but I can't use your branding. So I need to try one because I don't have time today and I need a picture. She's like, gotcha.
I had to dig through my deleted photos though.
Yes, and then see how this one, same, that's mine. It's got a more blue undertone. You can see that in the wood coloring as well as brightening it up. By brightening it, that popped my spinach and avocado and the accelerator bottle. So by doing my same edits that I do on all of my posts, it not only made the picture look better, but it's definitely mine.
Okay, so this is going into our last our last point talking about wording. So let's see if I can get rid of.
Oh, actually, no, hang on, Rach. We have one more thing before, if you want to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll come back to this.
You want to?
Okay. Go ahead.
So another thing that we wanted to share with you guys is about sharing on Facebook. Now sharing, which is like, oh, I'm going to share my life. We're talking about like the actual share button. And we were discussing that there is every once in a while, there's an appropriate time to use the share button. But I'm going to say like never more than 1 out of like 50 posts. We do not share often. And I mean, you're not going to go count your posts. But if I'm telling you that and you're going, whoa, I share things way more often than that, you may want to reconsider. The reason being is we've talked about this before, but the algorithms of Facebook, they will not show shared posts to your network as often. Hey, Gunner, can you let the puppies out? Sorry, guys. They are not going to show those shared posts to your network, for one. 2, your network wants to hear from you, not things that interest you, not how you think this is cool, so they should see it. Say it's a quote, say it's a meme, say it's something really awesome that you think that your network needs to see. You need to be copying that, either creating your own image, which is ideal, or at least saving the image and posting it yourself. Yeah. By doing that, you are going to have more influence because people are going to be hearing this information from you. If you find it valuable enough to hit the share button, then you should have it valuable enough to create your own version of that and share it with your network. So that is going to build influence. That is going to keep your brand cohesive and all of your visuals looking the same. And your network is actually going to see these posts versus the ones that you just hit the share button on. So that was the last part of, one more thing with that, the Instagram. Were you going to go over that, Rach? Or do you
yeah, I'll touch on that because I want to add something else too. When you see something that you like and it inspires you, like use that as inspiration. Don't copy and paste someone else's words. If it's a meme, memes are shared all over the internet. You don't really have to give credit for that necessarily. They'll usually have it like something watermarked on it if somebody certain did it. But if it's somebody else's words, either, copy and paste and give them credit by tagging them in it or be like, my friend so-and-so said it best. But otherwise, use it as inspiration and come up with your own version. And like Ashley said, you don't need to be hitting the share button very often. There are very few things. And if you want to know like how often you should do it. Go and check mine and Ashley's timelines. Like, we're not perfect by any means, but in this area, like, I know that we're on top of things. And go and scroll through and see the last time that we actually shared something. Like, hit the share button. I think the last thing for me was a video about plastics in the ocean, because that's something I'm really passionate about. But that's about it. Okay, let's see. Okay. Then the sharing from Instagram to Facebook. You guys know how, like, when you're posting Instagram, you can hit, like, the share to Facebook or Twitter or whatever else, and it'll, like, just do both at the same time. That seems super convenient and awesome, but I'm going to tell you this from personal experience. You are not, for some reason, Facebook's algorithms does not like it when you do that. Like, I will post something and do that, share it from Instagram to Facebook, and get 10 likes or something. Whereas if I just copy and paste what I said in Instagram and then put it over into Facebook as a new post, it'll get like 10 times the interactions. I don't know why, but I'm just warning you. Like, I've noticed it, and it doesn't go over very well.
And when you say you edited your photo through Instagram, that's not a problem. It actually saves that edit onto my phone. So literally, as soon as I close that out of the app, I go over to Instagram, and that edited version is there. And I just hit paste from whatever I typed over into the caption section on Instagram and hit post. It takes like 3 seconds longer, but the payoff is so much more valuable, because what's the point in sharing something if no one's going to see it?
Yep. Okay. Now our last point is going to be talking about wording. So when you're marketing on social media, specifically, about your, like, product or your business post, you need to make sure that you aren't being super, super salesy. And I'm going to put it in the phrase of what I like to call ninja marketing, in a sense. We didn't touch on that as much as I planned, but I think that deserves a Zoom in and of itself. I just realized this is on Ashley. Oops. Anyway, I just love looking at her beautiful face. But anyway, something that I read or heard, again, don't remember where, but it said that people today are smart. They know when they're being marketed to and they don't like it. So in order to market to people, you kind of have to do it in a way that they're not expecting. So you guys have probably seen an influx of people doing live videos for companies that, like, sponsored and selling something. And I'm not gonna lie, I've probably bought like a few of those things off of that. A lot of the, like, box openings for FabFitFun, or, you know, whatever it is. You guys remember the black mask that, like, peels your face off and it hurts really bad, pulls, like, all the little hairs off your face? That was, like, all over social media, and they marketed it in such a way that you didn't even know you were being marketed to until you're like, oh yeah, I do want to buy that. And so I'll talk more about that another time. But I just want to talk about wording right now. So we don't want to sound like an infomercial. And I'm going to show you the different. I'm going to go back to that screen share real quick.
Hey, Rachel, I want to add also that sometimes someone can be directly marketing to you, and you're okay with it as long as the pictures are pretty. Like
that's true too.
Suit company, I am totally, like, I bought a bathing suit because it was beautiful and the girl looked real and it was well marketed. I knew that it was just a straight up ad, and I was like, click.
But especially for, like, network marketing, for sure, we don't want to sound like an infomercial. So over here on the left, we have, I noticed I posted it where no one can see it. But I said, like, do you struggle with anxiety? Are you looking for relief? All the emojis, all the emojis, all the emojis. Don't, please, friends, don't. Be like, you know, I said similar to what I said over here on the right. I feel so much lighter since taking it. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders I didn't even know was there. If you're interested, comment below or message me. And I took one of the shareables off Back Office. Most of the shareables in Back Office really aren't that bad. I like a lot of them. I don't personally use a majority, especially like the photos. I love, like, the info sheets and stuff. But this one just, I couldn't with this one. Come on, get happy and healthy. It's a little on the cheesy side. It's definitely not something that I would post. And so let's look over here on the right. This is what, oh crap, what did I do? What's happening? Okay, hold on. I gotta get back over there. Screen share. Go to this. Okay, scroll all the way down. Start again. Okay. If you look over here on the right, I'm very authentic. I let people in a little bit more. And that was honestly really scary for me to do. But I talk about what I've struggled with, and how, I tell a story. I'm not trying to be an infomercial. I'm telling someone about my life and what's happened. And I also use this photo that we featured a little bit earlier. By the way, the only reason I got the idea for that is because my sunflowers are dying. So I figured I'd recycle the petals. But anyway, so my goal is for that to look like a sunshine, because Vital Biome's making me feel like lighter. Anyway, there's no point in telling you that. I'm just excited. But anyway, looking at the wording, yes, this is a little bit longer than most of the things that I post, but I told a story, and people, whether they want to buy it or not, they're going to appreciate that. It wasn't infomercially. Anyway, Ash, do you have anything to add to that specifically?
No, not specifically. It says stains on your post, so you can go and edit that instead of strains.
Oh, I do need to. What? Something else was wrong with it earlier too. I said out instead of put. Oh, I didn't do it, but autocorrected.
Yeah. But hey, it just shows the real authentic side of this, that we're not perfect by any means. But absolutely. If any of you went to convention, or I don't know if they're up yet, oftentimes Plexus will share some of the sessions with us. Mm-hmm. There was a girl there. Do you remember her name, Rach? Carrie Wilkers? No, that's the very one. What was her name?
I don't remember.
Can't remember. But she talked all about storytelling versus like selling somebody by just giving information. Exactly what Rachel was just telling you. And if you can capture someone's attention in the beginning, you can have a little bit longer of a post. And I found that to be very true recently. I don't know if any of you are following, but I have a lot of life changes going on right now. I'm going through a divorce, and we're doing our best to keep everything very positive and happy. But I've been able to share a lot deeper of writing and what's going on by storytelling versus just like word vomiting and like losing people after a little bit. They become invested into your life. If you're willing to share, there are so many aspects of my life that are not on social media, but people feel like they have a full picture. And that's what's important, that they feel like I'm sharing enough that they know who I am in order to trust me and believe that what I'm sharing with them, from my business to my products to other value that I'm sharing with them, all of those things are a full picture, and they're going to have that trust built because they feel like they're a part of my life. So I wanted to kind of throw that in there, that honestly, people do not know my life, and that's okay. That's the way I like it. But they do feel included in what I do share. So make sure that your storytelling, you're keeping things short, sweet, and to the point as much as possible. Keep those images pretty. Go through the branding workshops. Please utilize the other resources that we have on the team page, because they are there for a reason. They are tried and true methods on how you can be the best at social media and posting and all of this. That's what we want for you guys. We want you to all be successful in this as well. And we all started from the bottom, and now we're here. So, Rachel, is
funny.
Yeah, we have. So yeah, basically, bottom line with this, we're good. We want you to find your voice. We want you to find a style that is you, that you want to stay with. You're going to add value to people's lives. You're going to authentically share. And then if you do all of those things, after that, the last little bit that I want to add is then find your people. When you're sharing about things that you're passionate about, if you go and find your group of people and add them, it's going to bring so much positivity into your life when you have a lot less people attacking what you're doing and a lot more people saying, yes, you get it. You are doing this same thing as me. I love diversity, and I love having conversations with people, but I also want people that understand me and that get me. So go find your people and market to them, because share what we have here. We have life-changing products and a business that has literally been insanely different than what I was doing before, and incredible. We need to share this with people. So Rachel, I'm going to pass it over to you. Do you have anything to add?
The last thing I want to add is I just noticed that Steph asked a question of how long it takes us to like take a photo and edit it, including the caption, and get it posted and everything. I'm going to tell you that varies greatly for me. On the editing part, 2 minutes max, because I literally do the same thing. Like every time I go into my app, I upload the photo, I do my magic, I download it back to my camera roll. Words are a little bit harder for me to come up with. So sometimes I'll think on that for like 10, 15 minutes and then ask like 3 friends, be like, help me. That's something I've always like struggled with. And then taking the photos, I mean, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes max. So I mean, it's not something I don't like set into a flat light every single time, but you know, sometimes I just take photos of my life and then I'll sit down and 10-15 minutes and edit like 5 of them. They're not too long. The wording is what gets me, but that's the most important. So
it's more so being mindful throughout your day in choosing when you're going to have a few minutes to snap that picture, whether it's your real life or if it's a marketed photo, as well as verbiage. If I am sitting and waiting for an appointment, I'm going to write down ideas of posts that I'm going to have. And then if I've got some verbiage that is just flowing, because words are my thing, but I have to get it at the right time, I will start typing out posts and I have them sent to myself in a message on Facebook that I may not use it for weeks, but I have a full post written up already. Or like I'll send myself a voice memo if I just want to like say it really quickly to have things that'll spark my my thoughts later. So it's not like sit down and boom, done all at once. But if I have nothing and then I want to create something, it's going to take me at least 15 minutes to create a post. But most of the time it's a lot more sporadic and cut into like a few minutes at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all we have. It was a little longer than we wanted it to be. I mean, always. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was helpful. And if you have any more questions, let us know. But yeah, thanks for hopping on tonight, and we'll see you. Sable's doing a call on Wednesday night, and it's going to be really good. She's talking like Facebook hacks and resources and stuff in back office. So anyway.
We're also about to announce our 12 days of Christmas in July winner for today. So that'll be on the team page shortly. So keep your eyes out tonight for a notification.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.